I think it's a bit bigger than what I first realised. Well, look at that. There she is in all her glory. Biggest common in the lake, apparently, the bailiff says at the right time of year. Has done 40. Result. Well, you join me at a historic venue in the Colne Valley, and you can probably hear the M25 speeding past outside the lake. We're at Farlows in Ivor, Denham, Buckinghamshire. Historic place. We've got 48 hours like we do usually on these little videos that we do. Me and Bradders, who's behind the camera. We're in swim 31. Lots of different features out there. We've got little dot islands, we've got weed, we've got shallows, we've got deep. Lots to really go through, and I'm really looking forward to it, finding a few spots and that. So we're going to give it a go, see if we can catch some fish, get a bit of bait out there, find some spots, and we'll give you a little update a little bit later. We're all sorted. It took me a little bit longer than I thought it was going to do. I haven't fished this lake for about 20 years and it's dramatically changed, for the better I might add. There's a couple of islands out here and I thought, well, I'll put all my rods up against the islands, all be lovely and that, but it's a little bit too weedy, a bit too shallow out to the right. So I've only got one rod. I managed to find one really nice spot. The other two rods I've swung around into open water. It's a lot shallower out there. There's some bars, I've got no weed on. A few deeper sort of trenches in between the bars, and I've seen a few fish showing. It's only going to get better because generally this end of the lake's shallower and we've got a hot day tomorrow. So the fish, I'm presuming, are going to push more into where we are. Even though we've seen a few, we could start to see quite a few moving and showing, and maybe a chance to get the floaters out. In the meantime, I'm going to kick back. I'm happy with where I've managed to get the rods out, and we're going to see what happens tonight with a view of changing tactics in the morning. Well, I don't really know what's going on here. It's sort of a weird take. I think I might just have a... I don't think there's any fish in there, I don't know. Well, weird. Bit of a weird occurrence. What the... Oh, I've got one on. I've definitely got one on. How crazy is this? Look at that weed. Oh man. Don't know how we're going to do that. Don't know how we're going to get that in. Oh man, this is going to be nip one per one. Oh my God, what is that? I think there might be a tench. There's a tench. Not exactly what we're after, and what a palaver that was. But yeah, it's our first bite, isn't it? Daylight hours are drifting away now. It just seems today, after getting the rod sorted out, finding difficulty finding them spots, that time is creeping upon us. About half an hour before it gets dark, but we finally managed to get the rod back out onto one of the spots after catching that tench. We've seen plenty of fish today, showing, jumping around, fizzing up. The coots have been keeping out of the way of the carp. You can see them come across and they're very all agitated when they see the fish in the area, but we've had no carp bites. Feeling really confident though, going into tonight, our first night, and for the morning. That's when I think we're probably likely to get a bite, if we're going to get a bite at all. Looking better even tomorrow. Sun's going to get up. We may even have a chance to catch one on a floater. So let's look forward to the night, and hopefully I'll see you in the middle of the night with a nice scaly one. If not, I'll see you in the morning for an update. Well, good morning. Look at this lovely little scaly Farlows banger. Very quiet last night. Didn't see anything, no liners, didn't hear anything. But yeah, just on first light, this little one made an appearance. It's a good little start. Hopefully we can catch a couple of bigger ones, and it could be the start of things to come today and tomorrow. So there we go. Let's get her back. Let's get the rod back out, see if we can catch a bigger one. Carp. Better start playing it a bit more carpy rather than tenchy. Yeah, that's a bit out of the blue. It's just about to pick that one up and put it in a shallower water. But it was fizzing on that spot this morning. We'll need me net at some point, I think. Oh. Yeah, it was just about to have a bit of a reefing, weren't we? $20. Yeah, I think it's a bit bigger than what I first realised. It's getting bigger as it's getting closer, it's getting bigger. Get you in there. Oh. Yes! Yes! I didn't think I was going to land that one. I thought we was going to lose that one. What a fight. That's a nice common now, I'll tell you. That's bigger than what I thought it was. There he goes off. What are we saying, Bradders?
37.
37. Exactly.
Give or take.
Well, what a turn up for the books this is. We caught the smallest fish in the lake to one of the big ones in the lake. I can't believe this. Out of the blue, we were sort of thinking, what are we going to do? What can we change? Because there was loads of fish showing yesterday evening, not so many this morning, fizzing going on. And look at this, 37-pound common. I reckon it might be called the patch common. There's a big patch of scales missing on it. I'm absolutely over the moon, made up. Just shows you, didn't it? You've got to keep the faith. introduce quality bait, quality spots, and it will come good. Definitely. Look at that. Absolutely overjoyed, made up. What a cracking common from Farlows Lake. Well, look at that. There she is in all her glory. 37 pound. Biggest common in the lake, apparently, the bailiff says at the right time of year. Has done 40. I don't care how big it is. What a beautiful fish. Absolutely made up with this. Smallest fish in the lake, then one of the biggest in the lake. Love Farlows. Yes, result. Well, we just slipped that lovely common back, and while I'm just about to recast the rod out, I thought I'd go through the rig and the setup that I'm using. I'm using the same rig and setup on all 3 rods. Now I've got a fluorocarbon leader. It's a naked helicopter rig there. You can't use lead core or lead core type of leaders, things like that, or leadless leaders on here on Farlows. But I still like the heaviness of the fluorocarbon to pin everything down, and I like the helicopter setup generally for most of my fishing. The rig is 2 parts really. You've got a real supple braid, and you've got a stiff, sort of like a choddy section really, just like a chod on there, with a size 4, a chod type hook, intern beak, point should I say, and a big bit of putty. You see on there, I'll show you, look. On the rig there, there's quite a large bit of putty, where you think normally I'd use a little bit of putty and have it just slowly settling down like that. I want it bang, I want it to go down straight away. I foam it up, I want it to hit the bottom. Even though it's a short rig, it sort of nestles down there like that. And then when the fish picks it up, sucks it in, bang, it just pulls straight back into the lip. And when you've got a nice stiff section there as well, they find it very difficult to get rid of it. It bounces around in the mouth, and that's what happened with the common on a nice little bit of silt I found out there. And so I've got that on all 3 rods. On 2 of them I've got the white Northern Specials, a favourite hook bait of mine. And on the 3rd one I've got to match the hatch. I've got a triple X, a corkboard pop up on there, and that's sitting over a nice bit of gravel as well. So there you go, that's the rig, that's how it works. That's why I'm using certain little bits and components of it, and so far it's done very well. Hopefully we catch another one and finish off the session brilliantly. Just prepping for the night ahead, just about to put some more bait on the spots. And I thought I'd go through my mix so I can show you how I go about it and what's in it. You may have noticed that it's very boily heavy. In fact, it's all boily. I'm using something a little bit different to what you'd normally use, or I'd normally use. I'm using a mix of baits, the Triple X and the Pacific Tuna. I'm also using 4 different sizes, 10 mils, 18s, 15s, and some dumbbells as well. Mixing them up, I found on these day ticket waters so many different baits go in that I wanted to sort of keep them guessing a little bit on the spot, as if like a couple of people have been fishing it and the bait had been out there a while, but also to pep it up, to put a nice big cloud into the water column. I've used a marine amino liquid just to give it a nice coating, and then the designated Pacific Tuna booster powder to create that great big massive cloud, track them fish down, and see if we can get another fish. Also, you may have noticed from catching that nice common today, this is a big fish tactic. This time of year, they've spawned a month or so ago. They're trying to replenish their weight, ready for the autumn and the winter. There's no better way than to get a few fish and get the bigger fish than using boilies on a day ticket lake like this. So I'm going to prep some more, I'm going to get it going, then we're going to stick it in, and we're going to see what this evening brings. Right, I'm just about to redo the rods Going to do all 3 rods all at once. That minimises the disturbance on the spots I'm fishing. I'm going to stay with the spots that I'm fishing as well. 2 of the rods I've had bites off of. The 3rd spot I didn't have a bite, but there was a lot of activity, a lot of feeding, a lot of fizzing going over. A couple of fish showed on that rod, which is this one. And I was wondering, what's going on? I did have a bite. And then I went to reel in and I was hooked into a tree fish, I call it. It's like a branch, like a, you know, the bottom is just unlucky. It's one of them unlucky occurrences. Landed fine, went out there lovely. Fish were all over it, but I didn't get a bite. So there must have been some reason, that was it. I caught a branch. So I'm going to get this rod out, get it all sorted, stick to the same 3 spots and see what happens. Evening's drawing in on our last night. Had a good day today, lovely 37-pound common, but I thought, being greedy, we may have had 1 or 2 more. Fish didn't really turn up in any numbers. They stayed off the side of the wind in front of a couple of other anglers who had had a couple of fish. But we managed to get the rods in position again on the spots. I'm feeling really confident going in tomorrow morning, where I think we're going to have another chance of catching that last one before we go. Either way, we had a great time at Farlows and I can't wait to come back. Well, just about to get light and it's roared off the 2nd time in about 10 minutes. Of course, going a bit now, this one. We've just landed one and it's all sort of kicked off. We've got another one on. We're just about to, well, hopefully get this one in as well. Got a nice common about 25 in the sling at the moment, just sitting there. I'm just getting the rod out. And it's off again as soon as I put it out there. Same rod. Crazy. Just shows you how action can be fast and hectic on day ticket waters. Nothing all night, and then just as it's getting light, 2 bites within 15 minutes on the same rod. Crazy. Right, let's try and get this one in. Oh. Come on, baby. Net. Away with that. Ugh. In there. Happy days, indeed. 2 fish, it's just getting light. Up a double, may even scrape 20, but it's a lovely scraly one. So, yeah, let me get all this sorted out. Let it get light a little bit, and then we'll come back to you. Well, that's a bit crazy action really quickly. In fact, even in the darkness, it's 5:30, it'd be light in 20 minutes, and I see fish fizzing on the spot still, and I've just had 2 bites off the same spot. So I'm going to stick another white Norman Special on, change the hook, straighten out the rig, get it back on there, and then hopefully by then it's starting to get light and we'll be able to get these fish out to show you. Yeah, mad, just crazy action first thing in the morning as it's getting light on Farlows. Yeah, buzzing. It's been a mad session, hasn't it? Right, I'm gonna love you and leave you. Get this on, get it back out, see if we catch another one. do. Well, just going to introduce a few more baits, keep that spot, that area ticking over. We've had 2 quick bites on there. I've seen them fishing even as it's getting light. I want to keep the bait going in, keep the fish coming back for more. So get a 3 or 4 pouncefulls out there, and yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, even though I'm being a little bit greedy, we can catch another one. Well, here's the first of the 2 fish we've had this morning. What a cracker, what an old Farlows warrior this is. I bet this fish could tell a tale or two. Dark, scaly, scraper 20. Must have been a bit of a bigger fish when it was a lot younger, but what a way to get one. Look at this, old English warrior, isn't it? Right, I'm gonna get him or her back and we'll get out the common to show you. Well, here she is, £26, 11-ounce common, another really nice common for Farlows, typical of the strain here, lovely fish. And off the same spot again this morning. It's worth noting, I've done something a little bit different with the spot that I'm fishing. We've got a few islands in front of us, and it looks like a lot of people would normally fish right tight up against them islands, but I think the fish have become aware of that and they're shying off it a bit. So I found a little spot about 3 or 4 rod lengths off the island in the deeper water in silt and fed it, and wow, this is what's happened. The 3 bites we've had have been off the same spot, and they've been getting on there because it seems a little bit safer to them. But look at this, what a cracking common, and we've still got a while left yet before we got to go, so we may even get 1 or 2 more this morning. Well, unfortunately, we've come to the end of the session. Nothing else materialised. The last couple of hours we was there, but I really can't complain. We had an absolute cracking session, cracking 48 hours. Me and Brad, the cameraman, we had a good few fish, up to 37 pounds. And I'll tell you what I've taken away from this is just doing something a little bit different to the norm. Fishing off that island into a little deeper hole where lots of people would put a bait boat up against the island. I didn't use one. Keep the bait going in, mixing the bait, mixing the sizes, and looking for those different little areas that aren't normally where everyone would fish, tight to the island. So we've had a great time. Can't wait to come back in the winter when it fishes really well. And yeah, hope you enjoyed it, guys, and I'll see you for the next video.